Hello and welcome to When the Tone Drops, here with your hosts, Thomas Salandra. I'm joined by Thomas Dankos, remote as we've been. Tom, thank you very much for joining us here on When the Tone Drops. As you know, you have to kind of be here because this is our show. What's going on there, Tom?
Nothing much. You start the recording with me fixing my hair behind my ear. No, things are going well.
Well, you look good there, Tom, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I want a haircut, but girlfriend doesn't think I need a haircut. That's a different time. Things are going well. I got the second vaccination the other day. Sick as a dog. The day after, but feeling 100% now. So
that's what I've been hearing. A lot of people that I've known who've got the second Moderna vaccine feel very sick after getting it. I didn't have much of a reaction. I got my second shot on Saturday. I had a little headache, a little restlessness that night, but not too much. My arm hurt, but actually not as bad as the first time. I was surprised. But I have a little feeling in my throat for the last couple of days. I don't know what you would make of it, but that's the only side effect that I could say I've had.
I mean, we can jump into it. Yeah, the only side of, I had a lot. I felt fine. I got my vaccine 1:00. Did meetings and stuff. Went back to work. Felt great. Then 11:30. Turn off the TV. Have to go to bed. Got a headache. I took an Advil. Chilling out, and all of a sudden, it's got the cold chills and sweats and no fever. I felt very feverish, but I was reading 98 the whole time, but I couldn't get warm to save my life. I had 5 old blankets on top of me, shivering like crazy. And then finally around 6 a.m. it stopped. I got 2 hours of sleep. I called off work. It was just brutal. Not fun. Then body aches after that. But it only lasts for a day, and then it was good to go. So.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of the same things. Body aches, cold chills, a little fever and everything. I guess it's worse than, I guess it's better than getting the virus in some sense, but a lot of people are asymptomatic with getting the virus. So I guess, sometimes the vaccine might be worse for you getting it, but at least it protects you in that way of getting the virus. So they say about 80% is the vaccination rate. After the first vaccine rate, you're 80% protected. And then after the second, within 2 weeks, it's 95% protected. So that's very good. I guess they're saying 5% of people, you get the vaccine, you'll still get it and still develop symptoms. I'm not really sure what that effective rate they're actually discussing is, but I would assume that's what it is. What is yet to be seen is that if you get the vaccine and you somehow contract the virus, are you still able to spread it? That's the real big thing. But a lot of the late research as of, the last month or so, they've pretty much been saying that if you're asymptomatic, you're not really spreading the virus anyway. So, you have that, what nobody really knows still what's going on with this. So it's really hard to kind of tell, you get the vaccine, is that going to be the end of it? Or, there's still lasting things going on down the road. We'll only, be able to see that sooner rather than later. And, even these effective rates, do we really know how effective they are long-term? Because they only had a short number of, months or weeks with the clinical trials. We have to talk about the great speed in which they put these vaccines out there, which was, amazing. They did 5 years of work in less than a year, these pharmaceutical companies. So we have to thank them for doing that so we could finally turn the corner, I guess, and what we're doing here, get life back to some sort of a normal feeling. But who knows if we'll ever get back to normal? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? And then I was reading, I think on the Moderna one, they're coming out with a booster potentially, more specifically for the strains, South Africa and the UK. But who knows?
Yeah. You would figure, I don't remember, was the Moderna I know that they had, one was an mRNA virus or mRNA vaccine, a couple of them were, and then the one was a traditional vaccine. I don't remember if that was the Moderna that was the traditional vaccine or maybe one of the other ones that are in the process of being approved, if they were the traditional type vaccine where they gave you some sort of virus. I guess they give you the virus and then allow your body to fight it. But I don't know. That's above my head. I don't know. I really didn't do too much research into exactly what I was getting shot in my arm. I guess that might be my fault, but I mean, I just want stuff to go back to normal. That's what
agreed. I mean, so there's a reason why you and I are business majors. Or
yes, there is a reason why both of us are in business, or we're not in, the science field and medicine beyond the scope that we are in.
I mean, so we're the outliers that we're first responders, volunteer, and that neither one of us pursued medicine, and yet we're still first responders after.
It's something. I mean, it's a good story because everybody has their own interest, and okay, some people are interested in medicine, and you do everything medicine. I mean, I'm interested in medicine to the little extent that I am. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't work in an ER all day. I couldn't work in a doctor's office, treating patients. That's just not how I see myself operating. I don't have that love of science. I mean, I have the basic love of science. I guess you need enough to be an EMT and, be able to help people in that way. But, the more advanced stuff that, you learn a little bit, going back and forth, talking with paramedics and everything. But for the most part, you kind of just absorb it all, figure it out, and, treat the patient. Right? ABCs, airway, breathing, circulation. That's what it comes down to.
I thought it was still for airway, breathing. Can you walk?
That too. That's,
I mean,
sometimes you just want to say, can you please walk? Because I do not want to carry you down 8 flights of steps. But obviously there are those times that you do have to carry them down 8 flights of steps. We're lucky we don't have that many big buildings in our coverage area that we have to carry them down that much. But there's some places. We were in a place about a month ago, and we have 2 types of stair chairs we carry in the ambulance. We carry a Stryker track stair chair, and then we have I think it's an old Furno, like stair chair without the tracks, and an old-fashioned, real small thing, real lightweight one. And this was the only way this one was getting out of this house, is with the lightweight stair chair, because the stairways were so narrow. There's all stuff on the side of the staircase trying to get down. And that was a workout. I felt that for like a day or two after carrying that woman down the steps. And she wasn't even that big to begin with. It just was, it was a struggle. I mean, and the thing really doesn't operate the best because, it's old, and it's not really old. I mean, I think it's new from what I recall.
It's new,
but it's still old, like technology. So like the handles don't sit and lock. And I mean, it's not like it was built back in the day where, it would last, 20, 30 years, because they actually build it with actual, good metal. Now it's like cheap, metal. You might as well just crinkle it up and call it a day.
The tin foil in your kitchen would hold up better than that thing does.
Yeah, it probably would.
Looks like there's wrapped in foil, right? It's horrible. I used it and it collapsed in on me. I refuse to use that one ever again.
I think I've used it twice in what's going to be 6 years. And probably those 2 were, it was. I mean, there are some uses for it. I mean, I guess the only other alternative for this one was the Reeves down the stairs. But
I'd much rather Reeves.
Yeah. I mean, but she was able to sit, so I didn't want to, if she was able to sit, I don't want to lay them down if they could sit down, but I don't know. I
mean,
a lot of ways to lift and move people, right?
Yeah. I mean, the last time that you and I really had to lift and move, you slipped and your foot went to the middle of my back. You thought you felt pain on that call. I mean, my back, I thought, broke in half.
Well, we're still here to talk about it, right, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely should have toned out for more manpower, come to think of it.
Yeah, that one was one we needed more manpower on for sure. But we managed.
But the hall was, we managed. But the hall was so narrow that more manpower wouldn't have done anything.
The more manpower wouldn't have done anything in that. Probably the only thing that would have done something would maybe a sked and a rope. But other than that, to slide the person down the steps.
And that was a call we had to move, too.
Yeah, we had to move on that one.
Unfortunately, we saved them,
Yeah, we did.
Okay. But, yeah, I will never forget your foot going to the middle of my back and you trying to apologize to me as I'm, like, walking around the U, a foot-shaped U, like, on my spine.
I'm trying not to laugh over here, but it's not going very well.
Well, that's my goal, is to get you to laugh on the show.
I mean, I laugh at everything you say, which, is pretty much most of the stuff out of your mouth. Most of the stuff
Do
out
you
of your
have-
mouth we can't say on this show because we get in trouble. We get canceled.
You-
We would get canceled before the show even started if we actually said half the stuff that we normally say to each other. Not bad. It's just, level of appropriateness for this type of family-friendly show is not that.
Yeah, I like raunchy comedy.
Yeah. Raunchy to, the most raunchiness you could even have. It's our comedy.
Know your crowd. That's all I have to say.
Know your crowd. Sometimes, but he doesn't know his crowd all the time. And it almost gets him in trouble.
Almost. Never has.
Almost. Never has, but almost. Like sometimes he'll say something. I'll look and I'm like, Tom, did you really just say that? Like,
Well, I say defend in the room because I like to bust people's buttons. I poked the bear.
you do a good job at poking the bear. The bear gets pretty angry.
Well, I know.
It's just ready to
Be
bite,
happy.
and then it backs right off. Like that's to the level of poking the bear that you engage in.
I know the line. Very fine line.
It is a very
I don't know
fine
what
line.
I don't know what this is, but that's what I did.
That's not a line. That's like a gauge, I guess. Would that be the line? I don't know. Do not know.
Anyway.
Anyway, we just evolved into something for 2 minutes that has nothing to do with what we're even talking about here.
No. So what are we talking about, Tom?
What are we talking about? I got this good piece that I saw yesterday. I mean, I'll try to adapt it for what we're talking about. It's actually interesting. And it's more or less about, I'll just, life skills, but with what we do. So this comes from Andrew Beck and Ben Willey over at firerescue1.com. This is from December. And it says Firefighter 3, learn the firefighter skills that go beyond Firefighter 1 and 2. So obviously they're talking about the book stuff that you see, whether it be in an EMT class, whether you be in a fire class or, the police academy. You have those skills that you learn, the curriculum that you do, but they don't teach you actually how to be that in, on a department, right? They don't teach you all the ins and outs of personal life. For lack of a better word, once I start reading these, you start understanding. So they call this section truck and turnout tips. Give the truck some love. So they're talking about wash your apparatus, get to know what's on your apparatus, clean the tools on your apparatus. They have this one, other one, leave the bumper free and clear. Like, don't leave your radio on the hood, or don't leave your radio on the hood of a school bus and then forget that you left it on the hood of the school bus and then try to find it and call on the radio and nobody's answering you. And then you have to go back to the scene to go find the radio. I'm not saying that happened from experience, but
Wait, hold on. I'm going to interject. Were you on the extrication? We moved the patient out, and someone's radio got stuck underneath the patient, underneath the backboard?
No, I was not on that one.
That might have been my radio. I'm trying to remember. But I remember at the hospital, when they moved him over, there was a full radio just sitting underneath the backboard on the stretcher. No, it was one of the fire departments now. I remember this.
They always get in the way. Radios always get in the way. You can never do any lifting. The strap's always hanging. Because, we have the, with the radios in the ambulance, who's ever the officer on the ambulance normally takes the radio into the scene and then into the hospital. And, we got P25 radio systems, APX 4000 portables. And, we got
the amount of times I accidentally hit patients with the radio is insane. I always use the back clip now, but before, or it's like lifting and moving, trying to lift and move, and the radio swings right in front of you.
Well, that's what I was trying to say, is that the radio swings back and forth on you. You don't, you're hitting stuff. You're trying to lift the patient onto the bed in the hospital, and the radio's leaning over, the back of it swing.
Well, they initially had no head trauma upon initial assessment, but they might have a slight concussion right now.
It happens. Not all the time, but it happens. So, don't leave stuff on the apparatus where you're going to, actually, I got a funny story. A couple weeks ago, I may or may not have left a clipboard on the back step of the ambulance and drove all the way home from the hospital and found it on there when we got back into the.
No way.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. That may not have
But if
happened.
you were driving, that thing stayed on?
I was surprised. I was really surprised. You know what it was? It was like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. So I probably was going a little bit slower than I normally do. That's actually in here. We'll talk about that in a bit. Know the speed limit. And then they have here, find your turnout spot. So, we'll down at the building, there's thousands of jumpsuits all over the place, people's coats and stuff. I mean, we all do it, but, like have a nice place where you're going to, if you're going to be on call and you're leaving your stuff down at the building, or, the fire department, if you're in a paid department, you got to put your turnout gear next to the engine. I mean, like, know where you're going to do it. Keep it nice and neat and organized. That always gets me. Stuff's all thrown all over the place. That gets me. Then they have cleaning cues, clean it, leave it, leave the toilet bowl clean, after you do it, change the toilet paper roll. That always gets me. Like you have a half empty toilet paper roll and then no toilet paper roll next, which just put another one in. Just go in the closet, go get more toilet paper and put it in.
It's going to be a really shitty situation if you're stuck.
That it is.
Bye-bye sock.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Then they have clean the kitchen nightly. I mean, we do a lot of cooking. Oh, by the way, the knobs for the stove came in, so looks nice and fresh.
So people don't. The knobs are broken on the stove at our headquarters for like 6 months. But it wasn't broken enough where it didn't work. It's just you had to realize when you turned it, it's not turning on the stove because the inside mechanism broke. But you just left it on the stove and no one knows it was broken. So no one decided to clean it in. And then Tom decided to order it. So I'm happy with new knobs.
It looks good. It looks like it's a brand new stove, but we put a lot of miles on it this year. We definitely did.
But did you know they cleaned it the other day?
In the recent past.
I think I gutted that thing 3 times this year and cleaned it from top to bottom. Have to, especially when they start a fire in it. Okay, my blood's boiling. Please continue.
So clean the kitchen, make sure everything looks good. You want to make sure the next crew obviously is going to, find it in a good condition when they go back and do more than the minimum. Obviously, take out the trash. That's another problem we have. Nobody likes taking out the garbage. You go in there the next day and the garbage will be overflowing out of the can. You'd be like, why didn't you see that last night? Pull it out. But nonetheless, personal priorities is the next section. Keep around some extra pairs of socks. I keep an entire second pair of clothes in my truck, because you never know, especially all this COVID stuff. I was taking showers like twice a shift. So, I mean, you take your clothes off, throw it in the washer, take a shower, put new clothes on, go out another call, take those off.
You also keep 14 boxes of gloves in your jumpsuit.
Yes. Every time I go to the hospital, I take gloves. This is my recommendation to you. Every time you go into the ER, take gloves out of the glove container and keep putting them in your pockets because you'll never know when you're going to need them. I made it through about a month and a half of COVID without needing any new gloves back in the beginning in March and April. So, I mean, I knew what I was doing. Every once in a while I'll run out a little bit because I think I might have used probably about 15 pairs of gloves today, but it was one of those, and it wasn't even it was a little bloody this morning. We started out with bloody cold, but other than that, I really didn't even need that. Then they have stash some baby powder. I never had any problems with that. And they have log out. So a lot of people love leaving their emails and web information logged in on the computer. And
can we
am I allowed to tell the story or no?
We can't say with anybody's names or anything.
We can't say
Tom opened the computer one day and somebody's email was on and there happened to be a phallic shaped object on the screen. Is that it? Can I say that?
Yes, that was good. Never try to find the schedule when you're not, when you think you're logged in, but you're not. So just always log out of your stuff, especially with HIPAA. Make sure that you leave, if you're doing charts, make sure you line it out, sign it out and log out, but especially your own personal email. Do not leave that logged in on the computer. Okay.
Are you trying to close your eyes so you don't see it?
I'm trying to close my eyes, but when I close my eyes, I still see it in my brain. I still see it. Next, they talk about laundry love. So fold clothes left in the dryer. I mean, people leave stuff all the time. Fold it, take it out. I always do that. Ask for clothes. So if you're going to wash some clothes, ask other people they need to do it. We wash our jumpsuits all the time. So, do you need to wash your jumpsuit too? Yeah, come on. We'll put 87 of them in there. We go wash them together. And then buy a big box of dryer sheets. That's what we need. Dryer sheets always makes the laundry smell nice and fresh. Then you have money matters, don't overuse the firefighter card, all the privileges and stuff. This is a good one. Carry a $20 bill in your turnout gear, or I guess in your jumpsuit too, because you don't know if, you can need it at some point. It says to get everyone ice cream or treat somebody on the way back to the call when, nobody has their wallet. They say food facts. This is a good one. Bring donuts on your first day. I'm going to make sure the new trainees know that they're supposed to bring donuts on their first day. I mean, it's a good little greeting gift. I mean, when I was 16 and I first started, I wouldn't have thought of that, but it's smart. Oh, this is a big one. Don't leave leftovers in the fridge until they get moldy. We have a problem with that. People do not like to throw food out. They just kind of leave it all
cleaning
around.
stuff out religiously out of that fridge.
I know.
And then you go back the next day and randomly like 15 things are in there again. And it's always like the same culprits too. It's never somebody new. And no matter how many times you talk to the people, I mean, they treat their building like that. What the hell is their own house like?
Sometimes you wonder. You really do. This one, they say respect food time. So sometimes lunchtime is nap time for some people. So, if I'm trying to fall asleep, try not to poke me and, wake me up. You might need to give me some CPAP while I'm trying to sleep, but other than that.
So speaking of nap time, so my weekend partner and I have this. We try to do noon to 2 or 11 to 1, somewhere around there, is usually like a 2-hour nap period. TV can be on. Whoever's with us can watch TV. No talking. We're taking a nap, right? We lay back, chill out. Well, the one time I had too much coffee, so I couldn't fall asleep. So I decided my weekend partner's got a little bit of a gut. He's probably going to kill me when he hears this. So what I did, I took Post-its and I drew abs on the Post-it notes and I put it up and down his stomach. Unfortunately, he woke up before I could take a picture, but I was able to move the Post-it notes before he realized. But I don't think I could do that anymore because we have cameras instilled in the building, which is a very good thing. My shenanigans can no longer be tolerated.
Yep. No, cameras, everything's CYA nowadays. And, it's important, especially, not for, more reasons, than not. But I mean, just like little things, like stuff goes missing. You want to find where it went, or, you have an accident somewhere. You don't want to figure out exactly what happened. I mean, obviously there's big stuff that cameras are useful for too, but makes sense. So put your food away or suffer the consequences. You don't want somebody eating your food. Mind the plastic containers. That's a good one. Do not leave thousands of plastic containers everywhere because it's piles up. We don't really have that problem. We don't have too many of them, but I mean, I could see, a lot of places you get thousands of those stupid Rubbermaid.
Well, because we had the single use.
So, yeah, we had a little foil stuff. Oh, remember when we used to get food during the beginning of COVID?
It was nice, but it was wonderful. But it was wonderful, and I honestly thank you to the community. It was beautiful. The issue was the squad. People never took the leftovers home, so now food. We had enough for a small food pantry at the squad, and then until a couple of our members decided, no, we're getting the single-use containers, and everyone's taking leftovers home after every shift. And that's what we ended up doing. And it was nice. I mean, fortunately, with everything, COVID and everything, we couldn't donate the leftover food to, a St. John's Food Kitchen or something. Yeah, but no, that was really nice. I really liked it because it saved me money. I also didn't have to cook food. And we were averaging 18 COVID calls a day.
Yeah,
we didn't have enough
it was
time
great because, nobody really had any time. It was good. You come back, you eat a little hot meal, and you'd be popping out again on another call. So, I mean, thankful to everybody who did that. I mean, we really can't tell you our thanks and our gracious stuff for you guys. Kindness matters. Here we go. Ease up. Go easy on hammering people on other shifts' mistakes. You don't want to make, issues with somebody who might not have done something. Give people space. Some people aren't morning people. Some people are. So, give them a little time to get adjusted. Be nice, be nice to everybody, whether it's your crew or, whether it's the people going out on the call to go see. And they say, consider your crew. So if you should, or consider the crew. So, this was always a pet peeve of mine is that, you'd have, you're sleeping in the building overnight after, our shift, and then, the Friday morning crew would come in, and, everybody's making noise and on the computer. Just, be kind for a little bit. I mean, I understand, but we used to give like a thing like 9 o'clock. After that, you can do whatever you want, but, just try to be nice and calm, considerate. I always at least tried to do that.
I always hated when somebody came in.
So getting back here, this is some hierarchy stuff. Always respect, the senior people. That's, everybody understands that. Respect your officers and stuff. So if they want to watch TV, let them watch whatever they want to watch on TV. If you're coming in and you're being guest on a crew, let the crew, watch their TV. Don't hook up your PlayStation and play, your PlayStation all night while the crew might be trying to watch.
Is that a point of conversation?
That's not point of conversation at anybody.
Yeah. It doesn't happen to be somebody you live with and somebody I live with too.
Yes, it might be. It might be. A good one here. Drivers' do's and don'ts. Obey the speed limit. Obviously, know what limit you're supposed to be going. If you're going, you don't need to be flying to the hospital all the time. Really never. Obviously you have to, what is it? Due regard is the correct term. I believe that. You're supposed to drive with whenever you're operating one of these vehicles. Then you have know where to find it. That's a good one. A lot of people do not know where to find stuff on different things. So we have obviously 4 ambulances, a mobile support vehicle, and our rescue truck. So, there's people specifically trained on the rescue truck who should know where everything is on that. Obviously in the ambulances, they're pretty much the same. The only difference off the top of my head, well, there's a couple differences where the stair chairs are. So we were talking about the track stair chair on 3 of our ambulances. It's on the passenger side in the most rear compartment. Whereas on the one ambulance, the oldest ambulance, it's on the driver's side in the rear compartment. So just knowing what ambulance you're in and, where you have stuff. Plus our mobile support vehicle, who really knows what's on that anyway? Generators, chairs, blood pressure cuffs, coffee. Basically, it's a glorified coffee truck, right? Which I was a little upset the last fire we had. We didn't get coffee at it, but put it out there.
What was the last fire?
Upset. The one that we talked about on the last show. Well, actually, we've had a couple fires since then. We had the other fire, which we're not going to get a chance to talk about tonight. We'll talk about that next week. But these ethanol-fueled flame pots that are very, very, very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Nobody knows. No, yes. Not good.
You do not want to have one of these, and you especially do not want to have one of these in your house.
And you don't want to refuel when it's already lit.
Yes. That's something you definitely don't want to do.
It becomes an oversized torch.
And the results and the ending stuff is not very good. So a lot of good stuff here today. I thought that was a good article. I found that somebody posted that on the fire site, and I read it yesterday. I figured it was good. I mean, maybe we'll talk about this with our crew tomorrow night, or tonight, I guess, technically speaking, because this show comes out on Thursday. But it's good stuff. Again, you have the book stuff that you learn. We do our own training before everybody's able to come on. And then you obviously go to EMT school, do training in the fire department, same thing, a little bit of training when you come on. Then you go to fire school. You might take a little bit extra, but you don't know that like personal, actually interacting with people on department type stuff. And I thought that was a good article at actually understanding that. Training. We always go over that all the time. Big importance. Know your stuff. Know how to use it, how to operate it. We're going to be doing a lot more training. I got some good stuff we're going to go over. Right. I was talking about training.
Our crew to be almost trained.
Yep. That's what you want. You want to have when you go out the door, you want everybody to know exactly what to do not exactly what to do, but you want to have a fair understanding of what to do on any type of situation, whether you have to backboard somebody, whether you have to put the KED on somebody, because technically speaking, any person, if they don't fit the criteria for not having the KED, which is most people, is supposed to get KEDed out of a motor vehicle and a motor vehicle accident.
The Kendrick extrication device.
Yep. The most non-used piece of equipment on the ambulance, less the hair traction splint. Probably.
The hair traction splint actually serves a purpose. Technically the KED does, but.
Yes. But, if you have, to put a KED on, it's not like you do it every day. So, I can see if you do it every day, you could do it under a minute or 2 minutes, strap the person in there.
The worst thing about the KED, from a man perspective, you got to make sure you're not caught in a strap.
They say a towel to do that. Like, put some towel padding down there.
Oh, yeah, agreed. I'm just saying.
My baby looks hot tonight. Remember that? I don't think we're allowed to say that anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to have to cancel you.
My baby. Look,
It's
middle.
It's middle to Ted, right? Is down up.
My baby looks.
Oh, head to last
middle.
thing.
No, it's middle, bottom. No, middle. Middle, bottom, legs, head.
Hot.
Head, right?
Perfect.
The head strap, and then you have the top of the chest.
Yeah, you go middle down, top down.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially. I'm just saying. And
So you got to remember. I mean, again, what are you going to? When do you use that? Once every 3 years when you're doing the recert class. If you're not doing some of our in-house training.
Yeah.
Yep. Or if you're doing maybe some outside. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow night. That's it, folks. Have a good one here on When the Tone Drops. We'll see you next week. Stay safe out there.